For the fans, by the fans. Welcome to the only Angels postgame show that keeps it real, win or lose. No filters, no fluff, just raw reactions right after the final out. The Golden Stamos is polished up and somebody's about to take it home. A clutch hit, a game-saving grab, or just straight up hustle. We see you. But if you played like trash, you're getting the dreaded Nacho Night Award. We saw the missed calls, we saw the blown saves, the clutch moments, and the disasters too. Your comments are front and center, and yeah, we read all of them. Wanna let loose? Call in and sound off live. No scripts, no suits, no spin. This is raw, this is real, this is where the fans take over. This is the Heady Postgame Show with Todd Fox. For the fans, by the fans.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome into another episode of the Halos in the Infield postgame show. I'm your host, Todd Fox. After the coping session from yesterday, after trying to figure out where this team's at, whether they're, we called it that they were dead as far as the season. I still stand by that. I still stand by the fact that if we could somehow crawl our way to 81-81, I consider that a success with all the things we've been dealt by organization, whether it's from the front office, from the owner, down to Perry Manassian, the stupid coaching decisions, all the way down to just poor performing and not scouting right, everything. To get to 81-81 would be a vast improvement. Today was another stepping stone in that direction. We're 4 games under. I would like for them to get better, but we'll see. And again, we talked a lot about Mike Trout last night, and guess what? Mike Trout came through with his 1,000th RBI. It's still one of those things where I will put a spin on it, and not one of those spins to fluff it. I'll put a spin to minimize it in a bit. And I hate doing that, but every time I think of where Mike Trout, when he reaches an accomplishment, especially with 1,000 RBIs as he did today to get to 1,001, I'm thinking, damn, he should be at 1,400 RBIs right now. And then when he hits his 400th home run, I'm going to be like, damn, he should be at 530 right now, maybe 560 possibly. It's the what if with Mike Trout, but we continue to play the games, and he is one of the cogs in the machine, so we keep going. I'm not one of these guys that's going to get stuck up on individual stats. I'm one of these guys that's going to call it like it is. And hey, the Angels won today. It was a nice victory, and I'm not going to take that away from him. 4-1. I mean, you had Kyle Hendricks pitching probably one of his best performances of the season against a team who has gotten a lot better hitting wise lately. And then you got Kenley Jansen going in there, closing it out. You had bullpen relief in between and timely hitting. That's all you needed in this game, because the first 4 innings, I was there, and that's why we're late too. Welcome to the Halos in the Infield postgame show. I am your host, Todd Fox. Excuse my lateness there. I just had to get into a quick ramble. But we are the ones that are in the stands with you. We are fans in the stands with you. We watch the games. We have season tickets. Me and Big Game James were there today and supporting the Angels. We went by the Halo boys as well, and we're getting set up for a big surprise on Wednesday. So if you don't already have tickets to go down there, you're going to see the Halo honk himself with the Halo boys in a freaking Angel jersey. Or a uniform, obviously, or the white sheet, whatever you want to call it, possibly a halo, so over the clown hair. And you're going to see a lot of freaking thundersticks, possibly. So there's a lot of cool things going on moving forward. We're going to get to the softball game and all that other stuff when that comes around. I'm still trying to nail it down. It's been a pain in my ass, but we'll get that strategically fixed here soon. And then with everything else, I mean, look, the Angels won today. They're 5 out. They possibly could sneak within 4.5 out by the end of the day, but it looks like it's going to be five games out right now. And we're on late because, again, we went to the games. We're not these cocked on sports or locked on cocks that don't go to the games. They brag about going to 1 game a year. So we're there. We're in the stands with you. We're high-fiving. I saw a lot of people from Halos in the infield. Saw Patrick, saw LV, saw a few others walking around, Anthony. I saw George, a lot of other people that were there that I know from the page or from the podcast forum too. So I really appreciate seeing everybody there. As far as the game went today, again, the first 4 innings were a blur. They went by pretty quick. You had really good pitching by Kyle Hendricks, and you had really good pitching by Logan Gilbert. And I was thinking the Mariners might score first after the Angels left second, they had first and second and didn't score a run right there. And I thought, man, here we go again. The Mariners are going to get a couple runs. They actually threatened in the bottom of top of the fourth. After the Angels didn't get nothing in the third. And it looked like they were going to score, but they held them off the scoreboard, and I think that was huge. You had a real nice catch by Joe Adell. The scoring started when Newman had first, and he had the bases loaded, and he grounds into what should have been a double play, but it was the shortstop had to lean a little bit too much to his left and didn't have much on the throw. Took a little much too time throwing the ball to second base. By the time it was turned to first base, Newman, even though he sucks and is slow, he still beat it out, and that was fielder's choice RBI right there. They would score the run right there as d'Arnaud would score. It would be 1-0. Then Renifo, then they would get another run on a gift by a wild pitch to make it 2-0. Then Mike Trout came through with his 397th home run career and RBIs 1,000 and 1,001. And then Kyle Raleigh does what Kyle Raleigh does and hits a solo shot to make it 4-1. His 41st of the season. He's on pace for 63 this year, so we'll see if he gets that. For the pitching, again, Kyle Hendricks, I would have to match this up with one of his previous starts. I think it might have been against the Dodgers, or it was against a good team. I know that. And he gave us 6 or 7 innings that night. He gave us 6 innings today. 1 run, 2 hits, only 1 walk. That's a huge key. 3 strikeouts. His curveball and everything was down. And the funny thing about this, too, is – again, Kyle Hendricks, and I was talking to LV when he came by, and he said usually Kyle Hendricks gives you 5, and then he breaks down. And, I was leery when he came out for the 6th inning, but he did a good job in the 6th inning. And then you had a nice hold there by Detmers and Burke. They're 2 best lefties right there. 10 pitches only thrown by Detmers, 27 by Burke. He only had the 1 walk, but he got the strikeout. And again, those guys have been dependable lefties, which makes you wonder why didn't they use these guys last series versus righties or versus lefties when they had the opportunity to hold the other team. They didn't do it on the road trip as well. Then Jansen came in, made mincemeat of the Mariners in the 9th inning. That was pretty quick, a pop out and 2 strikeouts, and that was it. That's all she wrote. So a good game all the way around in a not a getaway game or getaway day for Seattle, but not for the Angels. Angels get the victory here, 4 runs, 4 hits, and only 1 run, 2 hits. So again, good pitching all the way around. And speaking of pitching, if you have not heard, Jack Kwanowitz, a guy that none of you guys like. And maybe some of you think, hey, like me, he has good stuff and he'll be a future possible pitcher in this rotation. Get something together. He'll be better. Kwanowitz is going to be your starter for tomorrow's game. So all this about, hey, Kwanowitz has got to go down. He's got to fix himself, which I agreed. And I thought he's going to be down there for a while. But that just goes to show you with the Trash Pandas and the Salt Lake Bees that we have nobody ready to take the bull by the horns and be that starter. And I think Ray Montgomery's got bashed over the head twice by the media, or at least by us and others that actually called him out on his bullshit by starting the bullpen. Instead of have these guys on 4-man rotations and stuff like that, which they can easily do, they don't want to go to a 5-man because they're scared of the fact that they don't have any rookies. In the last 2 weeks, there have been 3 starting pitchers to have been DFA'd by teams. And we could have picked up any one of those pitchers and used them as a spot starter. Instead, we're saying, okay, we're going to bring back Kwanowitz. Kwanowitz was terrible. And I understand Clausen has a 6 ERA. I understand that Victor Medeiros hasn't pitching to a big, he's pitching to a 5-something ERA. Caden Dana's about at a 6 ERA. Aldegary's at about a 6 ERA. But there's a reason why those guys are at a 6 ERA. And the reason is you've brought them up at a couple times, with the exception of Clausen, with taking them out of their comfort zone, making them debut for the season as a reliever instead of what they're intended to be, which is a starter. That's your problem right there. And then when you send them back down to the minors, they were cooking before you brought them up. When you put them back down, their confidence is shot. And again, a big chunk of this game is mental. And if you don't have the mental capacity, and you're bringing these players up and sending them down after failures and expecting them to pick up right where they left off, well, you're in for a shocking surprise. They're not going to be able to do that. And that's what's happening. So you don't have a starting pitcher ready. That's on you, Perry. That's on the organization That's the reason why they're failing. Caleb says, so we're going to lose tomorrow with Kiwanowitz. I mean, do you think we're going to win? I mean, Texas is red hot right now. If we look at the standings right now, the Angels are, let's see, real-time standings here. We are, obviously, I'm not looking at division. I'm looking at wild card. Texas is 56-50, tied with the Seattle Mariners for that last wild card spot. They have won 6 in a row. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They're now plus 74 run differential, which just a month and a half ago they were minus 50 run differential. That's how much they've turned it around. That's how much they've been kicking ass in the last month and a half to 2 months. And now we got to face them, but they are 22-30 on the road. They spanked us last time in Texas. They're 34-20 at home. Tampa Bay's 3 games behind them. 3.5 is the shit fucks. Kansas City's 4 back, and we are 5 out. And the Angels, if you want to know their run differential, right now they're at a minus 68. So if this team were to sneak into the playoffs with a minus run differential, that'd be hilarious. But right now, Angels are 26-25 at home, 25-30 on the road, 51-55 total, and only a half game ahead of the Minnesota Twins. So again, you got to jump 4 teams to get to 1. That's going to be very, very difficult. That's why I don't see it happening. They can't get any kind of 6 or 7 game winning streaks together is what is needed to actually get there. Because again, you're going to have to jump these teams. You're going to have to get on. You're going to have to realize that some nights that you pull off wins like today, other teams are going to do the same thing, and you're going to be standing pat. So you got to win more than the other team, which means now where you really didn't have to do it earlier in the season, now you really got to go on a roll if you want any chance. And again, I'm not saying this team has a chance because I believe in my heart of hearts, as much as I love this team, I don't think that this team is playoff caliber. Some of you still think that they are. Some of you still think that they can get there. I don't think so. Caleb says we would lose to all 29 teams as Kiwanowitz was pitching. Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow because that sinker ball will be in effect. Jay Fine says think we're actually going to sell. I don't think we're going to sell to what we need to sell to because we're still right there. And again, we've got 3 days to go. The special will be on here on YouTube between I want to say 12 and 3:30 for the trade deadline show to see where we're at by then. Corey says, I was at the game today. Were you looking at the game today? Yeah, I was there, Corey. I was in 260. Sometimes, one of these times you got to come by and say hi. I'll be there on Monday. Don't know about Tuesday, but I'll definitely be there Wednesday for the takeover. So with that being said, we got a lot of comments and stuff to get to, plus the awards. So let's get to it real quick, shall we? As there was 14 of these today. 14 Deos. Yes, there was. So who got the award for player of the game? And I think it's going to surprise you because, again, our boy made a nice play in center field, but Adele. But let's see who gets the Golden Stamos. You know, you have 2 guys who have been up and down, and I want to give the award to Hendricks, although, you know, he did pitch really good today, and hats off to him for getting the job done. The bullpen did a great job as well, only allowing the 1 walk. But I have to say, if I'm going to give it to someone, it's Mike Nelson Trout. The blast honorable mention is also going to be Joe Adell with a catch. Honorable mention is Hendricks, but I think you have to give the Golden Stamos, the player of the game, to Mike Trout with that deep home run shot to center field. Plus, he had a hit, so 2 hits for him. Anytime he's making contact, usually good things happen. Corey says, I'm going to the game Saturday against the White Sox. We'll come by and say hi. Message me before you do. I'll be right there. If the Angels do buy, who do you see as targeting for any rumors? Well, your guy McMahon was traded from Colorado. So, again, it's going to be an expiring contract for me unless they pull something weird. So I don't know right now, Corey. This team is, from my sources right now, I really don't have too many guys that the Angels are in on. A lot of people say that they're in on Suarez. There's no way. Liam says the Rangers sweep, or let the Rangers sweep. We'll see what happens there because that's very, very possible. Let's see who gets the Nacho Night Award.
For the worst performance of the night. Congratulations. You played yourself.
Moldy cheese, stale chips, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the Nacho Night Award.
I think the Nacho Night Award has to go to Logan Gilbert today, which it's hard to say. Now, actually, no, I'm looking right here. There's no real big strikeouts. The only guy who had 3 strikeouts was Joe Adell. The Angels had 9, but they worked 4. There wasn't really no bad at bats. You know what? I would have to say this. Let me take that back. Let me give it to Julio Rodriguez. At least Crawford hit the ball to the outfield. I'm not going to give it to Gilbert. He didn't really get pounded. Only 3 runs, 4 hits. 3 walks and 7 strikeouts. It's not bad, but I will say Julio Rodriguez was a non-factor today. 0 for 4 with a strikeout, not really getting on base or doing anything worthwhile. So he'll get the what do you call it? The Nacho Night Award tonight. As the Angels win, we got to play this too, man. Stukas, baby. We always play this when we win. Now, I know Corey over there on TikTok wants to make the playoffs, and so do I, but I don't see it happening. I think next year is going to be the year to do it with a good free agent class, getting some players, pulling some trades, using the youth movement, progression from the already current team. I think next year would be a good year to contend. Houston falling off more. Seattle would be the wild card in our division to do something again. I think Texas takes another step back. So I think it's going to be between us, Seattle, and Houston. That's only if we have a good offseason. And some things happen that I talked about in last night's show with Artie Moreno and the city of Anaheim. If that kind of stuff happens, this could be a really good team next year. Mario says, you know what? On a hot day like this, I need a botanical spritz. Where can I get one? Well, guess what? It's Spritz O'Clock.
Yeah! I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying? Like better than losing.
Spritz O'Clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz O'Clock, let's pour some more. Spritz O'Clock, let's pour some more.
Man, I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying?
Mario says, of course, the game I go to, they suck today. They looked awesome. Q Lombardi.
What the hell's going on out here?
Also, EQ says, Gavin drives a Honda Insight. Confirmed. Tyler says, good game, but don't forget we're selling. Exactly. You got to stick to the plan, right?
On everybody. My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut? If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. Spent not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 years covering UCLA sports, specifically with the Daily Bruin, writing articles, conducting interviews, all that good stuff. Crack into a good source of protein with how about a yummy tasting nut? I love the nut. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Had me fired up.
Wow, he loves those nuts. Also, Mario says, at least Julio Rodriguez didn't hit a home run finally. Also, Joshua says, we're not so back. Mario says, yanking our starter after 77 pitches. That means they didn't think he was going to do much better in the 7th inning for sure. Tyler says, Stukas and that bucket hat. And oh, yeah. The baseball purist says, I'm a new sub. This show makes me laugh. Well, thank you. I guess, unless he's making fun of us. Jerry says, playoffs? Yeah, right. You never know. I mean, but I'm not saying that it's a playoff team at all, dude. I just think next year we have a chance.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yeah. Also, Mario says, hey, Shroud hit his 100th RBI or 1,000th RBI. Q FanDuel. Yeah, they were going nuts over that, and that's even at the stadium. Watching the game at live, and they had the TVs. It was like, hey, 1,000 RBI. Oh man. Let's see. Also, Mo checks in with another news. Gavin confirmed he purchased a expensive pre-owned Honda. Also, he's probably moving apartments soon, all paid for with nut money. His dad's coming through. Corey says, I think it's the LA Times owner who buys the Angels, and that's what we got to see if that comes to fruition, because again, a lot's going to come down unless he buys the Anaheim City Council again. They're out for blood this year. Mario says, I thought Gilbert was going to shut us out this game. He was crushing it until we got help from the umpire, missing a couple strikes. Yeah, there was a couple that were supposedly strike three. I know one for sure was on Ward, and he got away with it. So it's good to see we get that. Dead says, the Astros performance suddenly went up from 2017 and stayed up until 2025. I think they still cheat. How do we know they aren't intercepting the PitchCom signal? We don't, man. They really haven't gone into that. So we'll have to see what happens there. But I do see the Angels catching them at some point. I know I wanted it to be this year, but we need a lot more off-season help. Rally Chris says Angels are only 5 games back of the wild card, in which Seattle and Texas hold the last spot. Please, Angels, take 2 out of 3 from the Rangers. I just don't want to get my hopes up. That's why I'm calling it last night with a loss. But I think they needed to pick up a couple games in this series, and they didn't do what they had to do. So I know there's plenty of baseball left to be played, but I don't think there's enough talent on this team to catch these other teams. And Mateo just says, hey, he's fat.
This fat son of a bitch is going to drown us all out.
Just going to calm down, okay? All right?
He's fat.
Sorry I can't hang out on the live today. I'm at my family's house. There you go. Eric says, glad we got a win, but doesn't mean jack shit until they start stacking wins together. Agreed. Rally Chris says, Angels have 6 games remaining on the homestand to be over 500 after the homestand. You got to take that to the bank and deposit it. I don't see it happening, brother. I really don't. Also, you got 9 games remaining. Frostblaze says, you best believe the emotional roller coaster ride of a season is going to go down to the wire. I'm calling it now. So Frostblaze is saying that they're going to be around much longer than we're thinking. Angels are just one big pitcher and one big bat and another bullpen arm away from the playoffs. Again, it sounds easy, man, but those guys can be signed in the offseason, or they could turn into players like Stevenson, who's been out the entire season. Jay Fine says, we needed to sweep this series for me to have my hopes up. And that's true. I needed that sweep too. It didn't happen. Eric says, Jack Wanowitz is back. Hey, Q Bally's. Yeah, so he's all in for it. So is Bally's. Bally's wants that K back out there. Exactly. Also, Patrick Carrillo came by and said hi, and he said, balls in my mouth, which always gets me to laugh, and especially when he's saying it as he's pointing at me and smiling. While everybody around him is like, the hell is he talking about balls in his mouth? That was epic, Patrick. That was epic. I had to explain it to the people standing around us too. Patrick says, I was with my cousin and 2 nephews. It was my nephew's first game. I got them rally monkeys and some other cool stuff. My wallet was destroyed, but my nephews had an awesome time. That's what it's all about, my man. Joshua says, hey, Chris, stop jinxing us, please. Rally Chris says, Astros got swept on a 4-game series by the A's at home. I'm going to make fun of the Astros coworker. Again, don't do that when we're below them. Mario says there should be no talk about playoffs until the Angels are 10 games over 500. Playoffs? You kidding me? Exactly. It's hard to talk playoffs. I'd like to talk about them next year because this year doesn't seem like it at all.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Lee, my friend, checks in, says, hey, Todd, the front office needs to stop watching the parade go by. I hope to catch you one more time before the season ends. Let me know when you're going to a game, bro. Beers on me, at least the first round, Lee. Rally says, Joshua, just watch what happens when they do that. Oh, no, Joshua, what happened? He's going to come back with you once they make the playoffs or get over Houston.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful. How terrible! Oh no!
Also, LV says, let's fucking go. Trout of hair. Storms X says, fire Ray. You also have LV said, Todd, I'm really excited for the future. I'm hoping ownership and management can build this franchise back up, and that's what needs to happen. My kids and and everybody around us went crazy after that Trout home run. Yeah, we did get super excited ourselves. Samir 20 says, cool, we split a series with it, but the Angels still need to go on a 10-game winning streak to make me believe that they are a wild card team. They do need to stretch a streak right here. Dead says, do you have a Dean Chance rookie card? No, I don't. Mario says, Todd taking playoffs next year. You're delusional, bro. Q Lombardi. I got to believe in something, man. Something's got to make me come back in early, well, not even April, like late May to be all, fired up like a certain somebody.
You guys are crazy. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back. What's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson. Don't get it twisted. You've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. It's hard. Oh, man. It feels great. Oh, yummy.
Calm down.
How about a yummy? Oh, come on. Magic. Oh, my goodness. Guys, tasting nut.
I think you guys are right. That's how he got his car. Big Jizz, speaking of Big Jizz, he says, if we essentially win the series against the Rangers, do we become buyers on TikTok? Yes. The Angels will find a way to become buyers. Angels fan first says W. Lee says, hey, Todd, cue Taylor Swift. Yeah, because Taylor Swift lets us know who is the problem.
It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's I'm the problem. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's I'm the problem. It's me.
Hi. Also, Storms X says it's if the A's take a leap, they can be scary. And I'm telling you, that Kurtz guy, man, he's scary. Dead says, I heard Gavin is a switch hitter. Fernando says, legend says Gavin is still introducing his show. Guy introduces himself like he's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Billy says the way Trout plays after getting ripped on this program needs to be studied. LOL. Right? Every time we ripped him, that dude goes off. Tony C says, I can't believe that Trout actually came through today when it mattered. Ward looks like dog shit. Trade him quickly before his stock goes down. The Angels are a train wreck. Already is screwed with City meet. When they meet the City, that's for sure. LA Times still a thing. Wow, I'm in the land of make-believe. There is a chance, my friend. Angels actually won, Boo Bear's mama says. Q Lombardi. So, yeah, Lombardi's even shocked.
What the hell's going on out here?
Storm Zach says, I didn't hear Mark Cuban was interested. No, he's not at all. He's not into baseball, really, if it's not the Pirates. He's a huge Pirates fan. He did say if the Pirates came available, he would definitely take a look at them. Tony C said, Kowanowitz is pitching tomorrow. Ah, shit. Here we go again. Yeah, where's that one, man? Here it is.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Rick checks in with, couldn't watch a game today. I guess the game was a blackout on FanDuel. Unbelievable. Good thing we get a win. We got a win. No, actually, I think it was a MLB Network game or something like that. It was something weird today. Storms X says, I did hear Mark Cuban was interested in buying the Angels. No, he was not. They asked him about it. It would be good for baseball if he got into the Pirates. That dude was a huge Pirates fan growing up. Mario says, no Grildo today. He must have been something running up his butt right now. He loves to hear this.
Let me tell you something about my guy, John Stamos. So I was able to go in the back bedroom and unscrew the old balls and running up my butt right now. You get out of it what you put into it. John Stamos choked on me. He was so great.
Rally Chris says, Chargers football begins. Let's fucking go. And season's right around the corner, guys. Fernando says we need everyone to hop in and trade on the trade deadline show in a few days. Yeah, that's going to be here on Thursday, I believe. Fernando, correct me if I'm wrong. It starts around 12 o'clock, so noontime, around lunchtime. Sit down and spend a few hours with us, and let's see if the Angels do anything. If not, We're going to be talking about everybody else wheeling and dealing like we've been used to. And then also, we're going to be out there on Wednesday. I'm going to be out there doing the Angel stuff with the Halo boys with all the white outfits out there. And so I'm going to have some goodies to pass out to everybody. So that should be fun. And then keep in mind too, we have a football show on Unfiltered Sports that's going to be taking place once the once the last weekend of preseason. I'll have a date specifically. We're going to be doing a live stream for football. Get your football fix on, and we're going to be doing like we do every year, which is fan participation. You could be choosing and picking games with us all year. We recap the football games from the day. So obviously, starting week 1, we're going to give a breakdown of our divisions about who's going to win. And, because there's 3 or 4 of us that are going to be on the panel, and we're going to pick our division winners. And then we don't pick the Super Bowl stuff yet. We just go with like who's going to win the division, possibly the playoffs, blah, blah. And then we're going to preview each and every game, real quick previews of each game. And then we're going to break it down and then give you our winners and losers. You could pick the games with us, and then we put up the standings about if you can beat the supposed pros or the host of the show. And we do the following week, we'll obviously have results, and we'll give you, the recaps in the game, how we did, how you guys did, and then we pick the second week and on and on. We do that every week all the way through the Super Bowl. We did that last year. So hopefully you guys, if you're into football, you can join us as the baseball season winds down. And we're still going to be doing this show. So until the final game of the season, we are going to be doing this show. So don't get it twisted. We're going to be still hanging with you, win or lose, no matter what, like we always do on the Halos in the Infield Network. But the only thing different about this season is, again, the football is on the Unfiltered Sports Network. So if you haven't got it yet, subscribe to it on YouTube. That's the only form it's on. So it's not on podcast. And then you can stay with this network when hockey season starts in October, because hockey is going to be the new home of the Ducks on the Heedy Post Game Network. So be prepared for that. Let's see. Dead says Super Halo Brothers are some funny looking dudes. They sure are. It was on Roku. Tony C says. Billy says, I challenge Mr. Beast to buy the team and make a YouTube video about turning around one of the worst organizations in baseball. Might be one of the most viewed videos of all time if he does that. Corey says, go Cowboys. Fernando says, yes, the show will be from 12 to 3:30 West Coast time. So set your dials for that, or your reminders for that, because we'll be on here. We might have a few guests, people running in and out of the chat. So it should be pretty fun. Rally Chris says, Cowboys will be battling for last place with the Giants. You could take that to the bank and deposit it. Demetrio says, I'll be on the trade deadline show. There you go, Demetrio. Appreciate you right there. So quick recap of the game. Angels win 4-1, and they stay within 5 games of the freaking Seattle Mariners, who hold the last spot along with Texas. So this series, they're going to have to win and sweep. Really, winning 2 out of 3 gets you only a game in the standings, and knowing our luck, Seattle will win the night that we lose. So again, it's very important. As far as divisions are concerned right now, the Toronto Blue Jays are up 5.5 on the New York Yankees. Red Sox still creeping around at 6.5. Detroit's just about wrapped up that division. Although they were on a losing streak, they're going to get it going. They're 8 games up on the Shitfucks and the Royals. And then in our division, the Houston Astros hold a 4-game lead against the Mariners and the Rangers. The Astros have lost 4 in a row, and the division's starting to tighten up a little bit, except for our Angels sitting back at 9 out. Then in the National League East, you have the Mets up by only a game over the Phillies. That's been back and forth all season. Central's gotten very interesting with the Brewers being red hot of late in June or July, I should say. The Brewers are tied at 62-43 with the Chicago Cubs. That one's going to come down to the wire. Cincinnati is staying right with them, only 6 games out, so they're still within striking distance. Dodgers are holding a 4-game lead over the San Diego Padres and a 6.5 lead over the Giants. Diamondbacks are out of it. Real quick on the wild card standings, what they got. I'll go over the West and the National League and the American League. American League, the Yankees have a 1.5 lead, or they're plus a 1.5, and they're a game up on the Red Sox. Mariners are holding on to that last spot again with the Rangers tied right there. The Rays are 3 back. The Shitfucks are 3.5 back. The Royals are 4, and then your Angels are 5. In the National League, the Brewers are plus 5.5 in the first place spot of the wild card. 3.5 plus is the Philadelphia Phillies. The San Diego Padres are holding a 1-game lead over the Reds for that last spot. 2.5 for the Giants, 3.5 for the Cardinals. So what this means right here is the Cardinals, Giants, Reds, Padres, Phillies, and Brewers will be buyers. For the American League, one of the central teams are not going to be a buyer. They are actually going to be a seller. So it's either the Shitfucks, Royals, or Twins are going to bail on the season and wind up being sellers. Are the Angels going to be sellers? No, because Artie Moreno still believes this team's going to win the World Series. So look for the Angels, hopefully, to trade away some of these guys to get some good pieces for later and have some control. But if I had to be a betting man, I think they're going to do some dumb shit at the trade deadline. Only time will tell. The Rays are in it. The Rangers are in it. Obviously, Mariners, Red Sox, and Yankees all buyers. So, in fact, the guys that you're going to have to look at to buy from, you have limited teams right now. Now, I still think the Twins are going to be one of those teams that you're going to be able to buy from. So you got the Twins, you got the Orioles, you got the Athletics, and the White Sox. And in the National League, you got the Diamondbacks, Marlins, Braves, Pirates, Nationals, and Rockies. So you only have 10 teams in all actuality that you can purchase from, and you got 20 teams still alive. So do the math on that. It's going to be a cutthroat business to try to get some of these teams to bend and to get some of these teams to relinquish some of these players. Because, again, they're not going to be easy to get from other teams. So let's see. Demetrius says, I'm so happy that the Ducks are a part of the Heedy announcement. Been waiting on that since 2021. Yes, we have been too, and we're happy to have them aboard right now. And you're going to love what we're going to be doing with them. Tony C says, we should let the fans own the team like Green Bay. Absolutely. Dad said, hit us with the oh my God video. Oh yeah. let's hit you with that, because that's what we're going to be thinking about if we make the wrong trade on Thursday.
Oh my God!
Then you'll have those two doofuses being calling it the greatest trades of all time, and then we're going to be like,
not a great plan.
Exactly. And then one more time for this guy.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut? You guys are crazy. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back. What's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson. Don't get it twisted. You've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. It's hard. It's hard. Oh, man. It feels great. Oh, yummy. Oh, how about a yummy? Oh, magic. Oh, my goodness. Come on. Tasting nut. Guys.
You serious?
Corey says, if a new owner buys the Angels, if Artie is out, you think the new owner builds the land around the stadium? Yes, because the new owner would have money to first purchase the team, Corey, and then he would have money and goodwill from the city council because they want Artie out. And he would likely establish a friendship with his neighbors, the Samuelis. So, yes, I think a new owner coming in here would get all the perks of being able to purchase the land, develop it, and make more money on it by creating another OC vibe, but Anaheim style, and then also be in on the San Antonio style Riverwalk that they're going to build on the riverbed just adjacent to the Honda Center in Anaheim Stadium. So there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of new stuff that can work out if Artie would get on board or if Artie was shoved out. I think a new owner would have better opportunity to do what he or she wanted to do. But with Artie, he's got to be, he's got to sit down, shut up, and go with the flow. I don't think he's capable of doing that because obviously he's putting 3 years off of letting the Anaheim City come in there and audit the stadium. It is just it is apparent, blatantly apparent that team needs that stadium needs a remodel. It needs to be retrofitted for possible earthquakes. It's been way too long. And it's a safety hazard on many different areas of that park. So again, that's going to need at least a $1.5 to $2.5 billion remodel. And for a guy whose net worth is estimated anywhere from $4.5 to $5.5 billion, you're not going to want to take 2.5 out of your own pocket to retrofit or fix up a stadium. I don't think it's going to happen because, again, he's not the type of guy that will take a personal cut when it comes to money. He wants the city to put in the majority or over half of what it's going to cost. And with the relationship being the way it is, there's no way he's going to do it. So that's why it's going to be huge council meetings at the end of the season that is going to determine the future of the Angels. And again, I mean, Artie would surprise me if he gave in to all the demands of the city. He really would. But I don't know if he will. I don't think he is, if I had to be a betting man. But again, a lot of it comes down to the city getting involved, the state getting involved, and them actually forcing Artie to do the work without being able to delay the process. And if he's not able to delay the process with his lawyers, like he did with Tyler Skaggs, there could be a change. I'm not trying to get your guys' hopes up. I'm just saying there's a chance. There's a chance that we could have a change. There could be a change. Let's see. Also, last few comments here. We'll get to it. Tyler loves the "oh my god" thing. Demetrio says, "Laugh my ass off. I wonder if Gavin thinks what he thinks of the video. I don't know if he knows about it." Rally Chris says Gavin is going to say it was a yummy tasting nut for the trade. Also, did you see my home run? Yes, I did, Mike. I was in attendance. Billy says Artie is a war criminal. Lock him up. I wish. Also, Artie is probably like, "Hey, Todd, are you ready when it's time for monster trucks again?" By the way, if that happens though, and he's forced to work on the stadium and retrofit the stadium, this could be the first year since I want to say the Angels were remodeling the Angels Stadium a long time ago that the monster trucks will be canceled, because we've had a long standing relationship with the Monster Jam people. And I think that any concerts out of season, any monster truck rallies and stuff like that, they'll have to get canceled if they have to retrofit the stadium, hands down. And that would be a big loss of revenue for Artie Moreno. So not only you'd have to put out $2.5 billion at least, or maybe a little less than that, but you would take the hit of no concessions, no parking, no venue fees, no nothing from these organizations that could come in and play ball or because too, I mean, when it's the off season, they have high school championship games there. They have all kinds of stuff at Anaheim Stadium that sometimes doesn't get reported on. So he makes money year round. They have church things there too. So all that could be put on hold until they retrofit the stadium, which would be fucking hilarious. So we'll see. We'll see, man. I'm hoping that happens. Well, at least we're building the team. Exactly, Rick. Never talk about Adele's defense. I don't know until he makes the next mistake, but he did make a clean catch today. Don't let the state get involved. It will turn into another high-speed rail project to nowhere. Yeah, it'll be Rancho Cucamonga to Anaheim Stadium. Tyler says you should have Nut Boy's parents on the show so we can talk shit on him together. I'm sure his dad would make an appearance. Demetrio says, how is Raleigh already at 41 home runs? He's locked in, man. That fool is locked the hell in. Vasquez says, missed a lot of the lot, but saw the Adele robbery. Was the game good? It was, and it went by pretty good, pretty fast. The Angels played a lot better than I thought they would, in my mind, and it was a good victory. But again, you'd like to see more of these, but this team just does not play consistent whatsoever. Corey said, did Artie just extend the stadium until 2030? But how would if Artie's out? Because it'd be because Corey, you have to take the extension because, again, you're only paying the extension still allows Artie to pay one, and I'll repeat this, one single solitary dollar, not a month, a year. He's paying literally $1 to the city of Anaheim, and the city gets, I want to say 40% of the ticket sales if and only if the Angels crack 3 million in attendance. It has been before COVID that they have hit 3 million in attendance. So 2019 was the last year that you saw thank you fans for the 3 million fans that come to the stadium. It hasn't been that way. So the city of Anaheim has taken a loss for the last 5 years, and they continue to lose. So they want to change that. So Artie said, hey, I'm going to take that extension, because not only that, if he wanted to move from Anaheim, say to Nashville, you have to pay the league almost $1 billion for that franchise to move. Then you got to pay the city also to leave. And then there's the talk about having to pay the city for the history of the Angels. Does he lose that? Does he keep that? That's what happened with Oklahoma City and Seattle in basketball. He's got to do the same thing in baseball. So you're talking he's going to pay anywhere from $1.5 to $2 billion to move the franchise. And you got to get it approved by all the owners. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think in any scenario, any kind of upside down world that happens at all. There's too many things for the Angels are specifically Los Angeles. You wouldn't take a Los Angeles team, even though I don't agree with it. They're Anaheim 100%. There's no way that the league would say, okay, move. That'd be like taking the Mets and saying, okay, you can go to Oakland. That's not going to happen. The Angels are too well established here. They got one of the older parks. The league needs this team to be where it's at. They need this team to have a better venue. They need this team to be a winner and a consistent winner. The league is better when the Angels are better. It just is. It's just one of those teams. Same thing with the Mets. The league is better when the Mets are good. It's not better when they suck. Same thing with the Phillies. The same thing with the Cardinals. There's certain teams where you can have a team suck for a few years and then get away with it. But there's certain franchises where the league actually needs those teams to be good because of where they play. And that's exactly what the Angels have in their advantage. So again, you're not, and again, Artie would have to pay for a stadium, or he'd have to partner with a deal with a group that is working Nashville as we speak. Nashville is probably this close from securing a franchise. They have the partners in place, the money in place, the stadium land in place. But the thing is Artie going to say, hey, I'm going to partner up with these guys? No, he's not, because he's not a partner type dude. Had he been a partner dude, he would have sold a percentage of the team to a billionaire or two, which he should have done, because then that could have worked. But no, he wants to be at the top king table. He wants to be on the Game of Thrones by himself and telling all his minions and everybody else what to do and how to do it. He does not want to share that privilege with anybody else. He does not want to share his plate with anybody else. He is a one-man show. So that's why him moving to Nashville doesn't work. Because a lot of people are like, oh, aren't you scared they're going to move? No, there's no way. And people were like freaking out earlier in the year when he bought a chunk of land in Arizona. It's like, is he going to move to Arizona? But they can't even support the Diamondbacks there. You think they're going to support the Angels there? No. That's a land grab to build himself a shopping center, yes, but it's not to build a stadium. It's going to cost him too much money to do it. That's all I'm going to say. So, like I said, the only thing I'm hoping for is that the city fucks him at the end of the year, and they force him with the league. They go to the league and they put in a petition for him to do something. Because again, Milwaukee did that, and they are pressuring the Brewers on something stupid, something small as freaking press boxes and luxury boxes. But this is a bigger problem. Anybody, again, I don't have an engineering degree. I don't specialize in construction. I was a carpenter, but I don't know how to construct big buildings and work with steel and stuff like that. But any layman like myself can walk into Anaheim Stadium and say, boy, that's a tripping hazard right there. That concrete is unleveled. The stairs are not to what people, because again, people tried to say, or it's said in media, hey, we make movies for the modern audience, right? Even though that's not true. But people's love and tastes, along with things that they could laugh at years ago, they can't laugh at it now, right? There's certain things you can't say, you can't do that you could 10 to 20 years ago. Same thing with the way that people have gotten fatter. The same way that people have gotten disabilities or they have issues getting around the stadium. You've got to upgrade your stadium to get like Disney does. They have to upgrade their facilities to make it friendly for everybody, no matter your race, creed, color, disability, no matter what. And you have to make it safe for all. And I don't believe there's plenty of spots I can point to and talk about in that stadium that aren't safe. Then you just got the old feeling of it where you got some areas that are remodeled, but there's some areas in the club level that look like shit and that have been due for, and that's just the cosmetic stuff. But there's tripping hazards. Come on, on the main area where we sit, there's a goddamn drainage thing if it were to rain. That's a dip, and it's an ankle breaker every time. And I've walked over it, stepped on it a couple times, and I'm like, my ankle kind of twists a little bit. Thankfully, it's never twisted completely, or I haven't broke. But it's one of those things where if you're not paying attention, there's spots in the stadium where you could twist your ankle like nothing. There's also the urinals aren't safe because a lot of times I've been in the men's urinal, the piss starts coming out of the damn urinal. It comes out of nowhere. Seriously, the plumbing sucks. Then you got some of the stalls are rusting and falling. The doors open and close. That's just the bathroom stuff. And then you want to talk about if an earthquake happens, the concrete beams, look at them. They're rusted. They're breaking. They're snapping. There's cracks in the concrete. Again, you're going to need a lot of work to this team. And this is coming from a layman who doesn't know or have the experience about structures, but cracks all over the place. The last time you fixed the place was 98? Again, a lot of time's gone by since then. You're talking almost 30 years without a remodel to the stadium, without any major work to the stadium. And it's just, to me, it's an accident waiting to happen. And I really hope the city council sees that. I really hope they do their homework. I really hope that the auditors come in there and fuck, and I mean fuck, Artie Moreno to the core. And they ask for the world to be done to that stadium. I really hope they do, because Boston and Chicago were audited, Wrigley Field and Fenway Park, and the reason why those got fixed with hardly any fanfare is because they have multiple owners, and it's like, okay, you gotta spend money to make money. We got to fix this so it doesn't become a problem. We're not fined by the state. We're not fined by the city. We're doing what they want us to do, and they're not even earthquake. They're protecting themselves from bad weather, from things that can potentially happen. So again, they follow the rules, and the city gives them perks. They literally do. Like, for instance, Wrigley Field gets free police. They don't have to pay for the local police. The taxpayers do. Like to help out with games, to go to games, they don't have to pay private security. They have the Chicago PD to help out for the games. Same thing in Fenway. You get perks. You get extra parking facilities. But you get the money for it, not the city. So there's perks that come back to the teams that, hey, fall in line. The ownership's like, hey, it's for the good of the team. We don't have to worry about issues later getting taxed by the state or by the city. We don't have to get fines by OSHA and whatnot and stuff like that. We're protecting ourselves. So, yeah, you got to spend money to make money. You got to take care of the product to then take care of the fans. Artie doesn't give a shit. He could put duct tape over the concrete and be like, hey, I did something. It's still safe. It's not falling on anybody yet. So we're still having games, right? We're still having cute Christmas in June. That's all he cares about. So, again, I hope he gets called out for his bullshit, and I hope it comes down to him getting, screwed with a royal, what, and he has to sell, man. That's a hefty price to pay to fix Anaheim Stadium. Again, you've gone 30 years without touching that damn spot, and you didn't touch it. Disney did. Disney fixed Anaheim Stadium and they were smart. Disney said, okay, a portion of the money that's going to cost to fix Anaheim Stadium, let's get Southern California Edison involved. Let's get naming rights. Naming rights cost you about $300 to $500 million. So right there, that's a nice chunk of money that you're getting from an outside source. So if you have to call Anaheim Stadium, if this place gets retrofitted, whether Artie holds onto it or not, and it gets fixed up, remodeled, the whole nine, right? And let's just say, I don't know, Foster Farms buys the rights for 500 or 700 million. It'll just be like up in Seattle. It's called T-Mobile Park, right? So you would call it Foster Farms Field. It would take some getting used to, but in all actuality, if you have to see a chicken or a cock instead of an Edison logo on the side of your seat, and it's a brand new seat, it's not a seat that's 30 years old, and we have like the artist renditions of Anaheim Stadium having red seats. If it has red seats with a yellow cock on the side of the seat on the end, we have cocky seats. Oh, well, it's chicken, gotta love chicken. Eat more chicken. Foster Farms Field, everybody. I'd be great with that. I would take that. If it's for the betterment of the team. Joshua says, you're forgetting about Supercross. That would be canceled as well. Anthony says, hey, Todd, any predictions on when Trout hits his 400th home run? I'm hoping to be there in attendance. I think there's a good chance he does it on this homestand. There's an excellent chance. I believe he does it against Chicago. I think he hits one or two against the Rangers, most likely one, and I think he gets the remaining two against the White Sox and finishes the homestand with 400. EQ says, I worked at SoFi Stadium, and until this day, they remodeled every few months or a year. The company I used to work for still goes there to update everything at SoFi Stadium. It's all about the money. Sure is. Demetrio says, they're going to fuck Artie so hard, it's going to smell like poop. Also, Richard says, someone should get them tickets to the game so they can see it that way. Exactly. I hope, Richard, that at some point, well, they're not going to get tickets. They're actually going to be allowed in because all the injunctions, all the things that he's done to delay the process, that all runs out in the next couple months. Right when the season ends in early October, oh, you best believe the city will be visiting Mr. Artie Moreno. Thank you, Eric. He says, congratulations to all. He's a Seattle Mariners fan. I know it's tough to see your team lose 2 out of 4 to us. So yeah, Anthony says Artie needs to get his shit together. He does. I wish he would get his shit together and leave, man, because we're pretty tired of that guy being around.
Well, then get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit, so it's together. And if you got to take it somewhere, take it somewhere, Take it to the shit store and sell it. Or put it in a shit museum. I don't care what you do. You just got to get it together. Get your shit together.
Mario says, how about beef? What's for dinner? James says, instead of the big A, it should be called the big dong. Boo Boo says, Artie is the problem 100%. Absolutely. Eric Wallace says, Demetrio, I hope not, but it's questionable as a Mariners fan because he's saying about the Mariners getting their shit together. Also, Rally Chris says, I know it's going to be called Yummy Nuts, Yummy Nuts Field with nuts on the seats. That's disgusting. When does the season start? Eric wants to know. Well, since we won today, Angel fans are thinking
playoffs. Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
There you go. All right, so I smell the dinner coming through the vents of the AC right now. So I think I'm going to make my way out, but I appreciate each and every last one of you on all the social medias right now joining in on the show. Strange says, where's when there's a big old crack in the concrete section of 307 row A, something's got to give, just like these nuts. Yeah, dude. I mean, again, you can look around and see just all the cracks, man.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
But thank you, Eric, and hopefully all is well up there in the Pacific Northwest. With that being said, everybody enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Sunday. Angels win and take the series. They have 3 games here with Texas Monday through Wednesday, and then they have another 3 games set with the Chicago White Sox to close out this long homestand. So with that being said, like and subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate each and every last one of you. And we'll be on again after the game tomorrow. Let me play you out with some Stukas. Thanks for the reminder right there, Mario. We'll catch you on the flip side tomorrow.